Merci, Monsieur le Président. Il me fait plaisir de me lever pour tenter de sauvegarder une dernière fois l'intégrité de nos efforts pour protéger l'environnement et combattre les changements climatiques. I want to urge this morning government to be cautious about our international reputation, cautious about the future of our province and our economic competitiveness, and to be transparent as well toward Ontarians. Au cours des dernières semaines, des renvois éloquents ont été faits aux effets dévastateurs des changements climatiques sur notre société. Et nous savons que les dommages ne font que s'accentuer. I know that the minister has said publicly that Ontario contributes only a small fraction of the worldwide emissions, as though this diminishes our moral obligation to participate in this global effort. It does not. How will we be able to conduct ourselves on the international scene to support our international reputation, which is essential to investment, to immigration, to tourism, and so many other aspects, if we fail to honor the promises toward the Paris Accord? We jeopardize our reputation when we don't follow through. We cannot pretend that we're alone in the world. This government is a free trade government, and we agree with this, and in that context, it must worry all the time about its international reputation. My plea today is that we not pass third reading of the bill to cancel the Cap and Trade program before knowing what the alternative is and what the government has in mind. Ontarians are entitled to know what the plan is before scrapping and shredding what they have. The government says it wants transparency. It should give us some. Many Ontarians are probably puzzled by this government's views on environment and on climate change. A large, very large group of members of the government were part of the Patrick Brown team and signed the People's Commitment, which had a commitment to carbon pricing. Now they've changed their mind within about 6 months and are spending millions fighting the federal government against carbon pricing. So what was the problem in the People's Guarantee, and how can people change their mind? Many members of the government have spent their career on reducing the size of government, reducing the number of regulation, of red tape, as they call it. But the current version of the bill indicates that the minister will forego market instruments in favor of regulatory instruments. This is bewildering. So one worries that all these contradictions, some people were in favor of carbon pricing 6 months ago, they no longer are. Some people spend all their lives fighting regulation. Now, presumably, they will have to be in favor of regulation. All of this contradiction is worrying that at the end of the day, the government will do nothing. I know that the minister has promised his plan for next month. That's November. Shouldn't we just wait and see what the plan is before voting for scrapping cap and trade? There's no urgency to pass this today. The Green On program has been canceled. It finishes today. We're out of the market, and so there's no energy, there's no urgency. We could just see what the plan is and then be able to be transparent to Ontarians so they know what they're choosing. I think Ontarians are entitled to know what is the government's position on climate change before we vote today. In conscience myself, I think that it's always wiser to see what is at stake so that we can evaluate the cost of the plan, its effectiveness, where it leads Ontario before abandoning what we have. A second point that worries me a lot: the FAO has identified by not having a climate change plan, the Ontario government is leaving on the table $420 million from the federal government. This is from a government that insists that the federal government owes it $200 million to help settle refugees in Ontario, which is fair to claim that demand. But this does not make sense. Why would we leave money on the table at the times where we need it so badly? And finally, in my last message, I want to expand a little bit on what I would like to caution the government about missing what I would describe as the electric train on this issue. China just announced that it is going to have a cap and trade program. It is therefore opening a large market of exchanges because it makes good sense to confront the reality of climate change. The economic benefit of going green are well known. They are experimented throughout the world. Indeed, yesterday at Queen's Park, I had the pleasure of being visited by the heat and air conditioning group who were talking about the benefit of the green on in the Ottawa Valley. A group of small entrepreneurs were very distressed by the elimination of green on. They could not fulfill all of their promises to their customers, and they could see the benefit of the program for their own customers right there, not only helping them refurbish their home, diminishing their energy bill, but also feeling more secure in their home, better windows, better furnace, better air conditioning. All this makes sense. There were local jobs, local people that were involved. So what's the new plan? Will this new plan replace this? Will there be an alternative to ensuring that people reduce their energy consumption by insulating better their home? Will all these small businesses that made investment to support the green on, will they be compensated? Will they be allowed to continue to participate in the greening of the economy? I worry that Ontario will be left out of this new opening of the cap and trade with China. I said it earlier in this House, and I will repeat it. The future will be green, or there won't be a future. Around the world, countries and governments recognize that they need to support the greening of their economy. They need to provide incentive to businesses to reduce their emissions and create greener products. This is where the competitiveness of business is going, and we should be part of this. This is the future economy. There will be manufacturing of green products. It's not being against manufacturing to say manufacturing has to be about products that will be competitive around the world because they are greener than their competitors. This is the way of the future, and this government should hold on to this and prepare us for the future. It's important. That's the job of government, is to prepare us to being able to be part of a large economic growth. So I urge my colleague says the future is not green, it's going to be blue. I wish the future, put a little blue in the green, make it aqua, I don't care. Change the name of the programs because you want to label it under your own thing. I don't mind, but you need to be part of this. This is important. It's important to Ontario. It's important for small business in Ottawa Valley. It's important for big business around the province. It's important to continue to be competitive and ensure that we are there in a world that is green. Maybe, if you want, label it blue. I don't mind. I want us to be there and to ensure that we continue to cooperate. So today, I think my message is about urging the government to pause and present its plan before scrapping what we have. It is more prudent, it is more transparent, and it's fairer to the people of Ontario. Aujourd'hui, je demande au gouvernement de ne pas passer la troisième lecture, de ne pas adopter le projet de loi avant d'avoir présenté à tous les Ontariens et Ontariennes le plan qu'ils veulent développer pour combattre les changements climatiques. Nous avons le droit de savoir ce qu'ils ont en tête. Ils ont le devoir de le présenter avant d'éliminer ce que nous avons déjà. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci. Further debate.